Last night I saw myself in reflections from the light. Could not find my own face. Past times I kept on going in spite of the bad times. Now that fire is fading. That I am bright, but you find my weakness. Tired eyes from work I do for you, it's never right.
Good afternoon, friends. How are you? Hope you're having the greatest, awesomest, most exciting Friday afternoon. I have been a little MIA this week, of no fault of, 100% my own fault. I had to go to the dentist. My dentist is my brother-in-law, and my brother-in-law lives in Elko, so I had a quick little trip for that. I additionally had a talk I had to record and get out, which saps up all of my little development times. So, but we're here. We're here and excited. And, we were supposed to add that. We're here and excited because today, for my 10% time, that is time that my company gives me to hack on fun projects related and or not related to work. Today, for my unrelated project, I'll be working on Apache Arrow. Looks like Apache Arrow is much happier with Rust than it is with Go. So I will get to put my Rust skills to the test. If I ever get that far. Come on. Load. Load. And yeah. My company is hiring. If you want more information on how to work with me on things like Apache Arrow, which I'm not saying we're using it, we're testing it out. We're testing its use case, right? You can just type the hiring command, and you'll be able to get that going. Brew install Apache Arrow and Glib. Oh, there's a Julia package for Arrow? My coworker's gonna be really excited about this. Yeah, they're getting mad at me. Looks like I should brew install it. And I'll probably need to run both of these. Let me just take a screenshot of this. And I'll throw it up on the Slacks forum. That's awesome. Brew! I had to fix my brew the other day. It broke, that's why my Vim wasn't working, and when Vim doesn't work, I cry a little bit on the inside. But I discovered how to make brew work a whole lot better. Which is kind of the goal, right? Gem install Ruby? Who would ever gem install Ruby? You can't install Ruby with gems. You need gems for Ruby, right? But there are Docker images with Apache Arrow on it. I bet there are. What is Pac-Man? Does anybody want to give me insights on what this Pac-Man thing is? Where'd you go? Where did Brew go? A native Rust implementation of Apache Arrow. Oh, this is what I want. Maybe I didn't want the C++ one. Right? Oh, like, yeah, I want that. I think. Well, I just want to, like, get started. It's the install. Yeah, I know what it does. I wanna get some docs, right? I wanna do something. It's Apache Arrow. Or something. Cassandra Kudo Parquet. Pandas, HBase. Okay. FAQ. What is Apache Arrow? Why? How? Does anybody want to know what Apache Arrow is? Like, I kind of have known about it. How does... Ooh. It's not a runtime in-memory format. Similar to Parquet, protobuf representation is not suitable for processing. Data must be deserialized into an memory representation like Arrow. Well, yeah. Why would you ever do that? Use cases, security, issue tracker, like use cases. Reading, writing, column or storage format, sharing locally, moving data over the network, in-memory data structure for analytics, which, oh yeah, that's what the data fusion stuff is. I'm a little bit closer, like our use case is a little bit closer to this, like the idea of reading and writing file stores. It's like... It uses thrift. Why don't they have a... Oh my goodness! Hey, Irish Gordo! How are you doing? Is that welcome? I wasn't expecting that. Thank you so much for hosting, for joining. I'm glad you're viewing along, trying to figure out how to get started with Apache Arrow. I know, I just... I'm just gotta get started, you know? Get started. I know, we're... Really? Getting started on new projects is the hardest part of the project, in my opinion. Oh, there's a park. It's the hardest part of it. Builds, feature flag, here's a crate. Source. Use arrow N32 array from vec is no. That's not right. Like, I feel like this needs to be up and running. I feel like I need to have data from somewhere. I do have data. Okay, let's go ahead. We'll make a project. CD code, Rusty's projects. We'll make a directory. Make a directory. What are we making the directory called? It would be called all arrow all data. And that's what I'm going to call it. And we're going to do that. Actually, I can do this the smart way. We are going to cargo in it. I'm pretty sure that's how you do it. Nope. Can you undo that? Cargo init, and then we're gonna call it, cause I don't want the cargo toml here, and I don't want the source. So now we're gonna cargo. So we're looking at it. Cargo init, arrow, all the stuff. That's what we're kind of looking at it. There we go. Hey, thanks for the subscription too. We're having a party. So our plan is, thanks for the subscription. This is awesome. we're looking at it as kind of a way to really build out a data platform. So right now we have a lot of data, and it's just sitting in databases. It's sitting in a lot of different databases and in a lot of different places, and the teams, anyway, we're trying to figure out a way to make the data available in a very highly accessible, highly parsable, and very dynamic way for multiple teams to consume from, and to just like not have to deal with latency and all kinds of weird things. So the idea is the data platform team, right, would build out an infrastructure and a platform to store all the data, maintain all the data, update all the data, and the teams would then look to Arrow mostly as their way to query relevant data. Hey, thanks, White Panther, for the follow. That's awesome. Yeah, and that way we can we just trying to make the data a little bit more dynamic and available. And right here, where it talks about the use cases of Apache Arrow, that idea of reading and writing to a column or storage, right? So you could have multiple tables with multiple different ideas or schemas, but you could have the column parsability is really nice. There's a couple of us, a lot of developer advocates in game dev, but you know, I'm here, hanging out. No, right now there aren't a lot live. Primogen's live, that's why nobody wants to stream dev stuff at the same time that Primogen is. Yeah, it's true. Nobody wants... Primogen takes a lot of stuff. Anyway, but yeah, the idea of using Apache Arrow and possibly like Parquet as a SQL interface for people to be able to treat it like a database, but not have to maintain the database and still have access to data across everything would be super nice. But I thought this was Arrow Rust. Oh, so here are the docs. Data in array stored in array data. This is like this same page. Oh, but this is the crate stuff. I gotcha. Rust, yeah, I am not very good at Rust. To be fair, I'm not good with Rust, but they've a lot of Rust stuff for Arrow, and I like Rust. So let's see if we can have a getting started with Apache Arrow. Oh, there's a user guide? Hey! And this probably goes here. Yeah, that's what I thought. High level physical layer, one dimension, IPC, file format, device conventions. Using Arrow C++, they should use it. Format and versioning. Apache Arrow. Third-party data formats. Apache Arrow is a development platform for in-memory analytics. It contains a set of technologies enable big data systems to process and move data fast. It specifies a standard language independent column or memory format from flat or hierarchical data, organized for efficient analytics operations and modern hardware. And that's the plan. Implementation status. I know there's Go, I know there's Java contributing to Apache Arrow. C++. Daily deployment using archery, packaging and testing with crossbow, running Docker builds, benchmarking, development, contributing to Arrow, C++ development, building C++ development on Windows, fuzzing Arrow, C++. This is probably what runs, right? Hey, how you doing? Nightbot 1, bad guy 0. What the heck? How did you get Nightbot to say that to you, King's Quest? Oh, so they're saying get it running with yeah, it doesn't like you spamming caps. I don't know why. Hey, King's Quest. Type exclamation point hiring. Look what I did. Look at that. For all my... Look at that. Yeah, see? Now you can come work with me in King's Quest. Pass environment variable to the container, pandas master. Okay, so... Yeah, I'm gonna... That way, there's a whole point. Is that I can get people... See, this is... I'm doing this stuff for work. And if you like it, you could come work with me by pressing hiring. And you can also work with King's Quest, and he can tell you about every single vintage 90s game. So, yeah, but the thing is, Irish Gordo, thanks for the subscription. I'll say that again. The thing about like my favorite example of a column restore is BigQuery. It behaves just like a a relational database whenever you're internal to it, but it allows complex indexing basically for quick and efficient cross-database storage. So you really don't have to like expand the way you're thinking of it until you're really trying to get beyond that. Daily development using archery. Arrow aims to automate the process of Arrow packaging and integration testing. Oh, this is good to know. Travis Circle pipelines. Azure. These Azure people are on top of it. I'm not doing Go today, King's Quest. No Go. Only Rust. My little gophers are sad. This is my sad little gopher. This is my other sad little gopher. I have one more sad little gopher. Sad little gopher. But I don't have any Ferris crabs. Which means no matter what happens, I cannot. So crossbow. I'm surprised how the Azure people have just like literally taken over. They're just like, you know what? This is open source. We're gonna add it to Azure. Oh, dang it. My camera froze again. You know what happens when my camera freezes? We have to switch to the overhead cam. And the overhead cam is not as pretty. Overhead cam, what are you? There you are. Not as pretty. 2005, then maybe you shouldn't come work with me because we like to deal with the world's oldest databases from that dentists have been using for 50 years. Oh, archery crossbow. I gotcha. So this is pretty cool. Individual jobs are executed and you can use any of these things. Circle CI is pretty cool. They have that built into GitHub. Mr. Mordfusting. Mr. Fuss. If I only had to deal with Postgres and Vitesse, my life would be easy. If that was all I had to deal with, I would be happy. Okay. We're gonna try and get this up and running using Docker Compose. The change you want to see in the world. So the change you want to see in the world is probably not going to use Vitesse. Citus is literally Vitesse but Postgres instead of MySQL, which is probably where we're going to go. What's the syntax for Docker Compose? A Docker Compose file? Is there like a Docker Compose init command? I have that. It's a YAML. Okay. And why are you trying to tell me to do Vitesse and Postgres? You're the one that's living out in Cockroach DB land. So you're saying you want me to use Apache Arrow to pull from Vitesse, Postgres, Cockroach DB, and the B-tree Dentrix databases that Henry Schein thinks are a good idea? I can probably CD, where's code? No, it's called all the arrow stuff. No, I want to get the archery images. Oh, I have to like install archery? What the heck is archery? We recommend using the archery tool. Oh, back to Python. Whoever thought Python was a good idea? Ugh, editable. Based builds. Oh, I get it now. They want me to do that because then it's already built for me. Gotcha. Mord Fusting, when are you gonna get our conference finished? When are you gonna announce the speakers for our conference? Are you in charge of the speakers or the budget? Which one are you in charge of? What? It's not valid? Oh, well. Can I do this? Dev archery is not a valid editable requirement. That's great. Who do I tell? Both, it's a team effort. No, we're delegating responsibilities. So you take one, and I'll take the other. That's called working as a team. Building the documentation? Why do I care about building the documentation? Oh! Oh. No, this is actually, I think, what I wanted. This is unfortunate. I'm in charge of the budget and speakers? No, I'm in charge of one. You pick the other. Why do they have an entire thing about doing it on Windows? I'm about to go down a really big OSS fuzz. Just because they're introducing fuzzing to Go, I'm now like, what's fuzzing? The process of fuzz testing is computationally intensive and therefore benefits from dedicated computing facilities. Arrow C++ is exercised by the OSS-fuzz continuous fuzzing infrastructure operated by Google. I thought Apache and Google were friends. No, because Apache Beam is Google. So Apache and Google might be friends. King's Quest, will you come to my conference if Mr. Fustang, picks a date for selling? We also need to decide when we're going to put tickets on sale, and if we wanted to have 2 tracks or 1 track, and who our second keynote speaker is going to be. So I think you should just come to the Kubernetes meetup on Tuesday so we can chat. How's that sound? Guys, we have in-person meetups again. I'm so excited for in-person meetups. The issues found by Fuzz are notified and available to a limited set of core developers. If you are an Arrow core developer and want to be added to the list, I'm good. CMake. Assuming you are in a subdirectory inside C++. Can I veto Arrow because I don't want to do C++? Is that an option? Like, I'm really scared about C++. I shouldn't be scared about C++. It's just a programming language, right? You can ask me questions whenever you want, King's Quest. Now, if they're questions about the gRPC gateway server that I'm building you for our chat bot that we're going to use on these streams and connect to Discord, probably not during my 10% time, but we can set up but we can schedule a time. Hopefully, I can get my mental illness under control and not just pout on the couch anymore. But, sometimes we just need to pout on the couch, get all the energies out. But right now, I'm super hyped. Probably because Mr. Fustang's here, and I can give him a hard time about our conference. Go West, happening October 22nd of this year, in person and online. That is 2 conferences for the price of 1. And tickets go on sale, we don't know when. And speakers will be announced, we don't know when. And we need to figure out a budget. But it'll be amazing, and I have stickers. Cool. So, fuzzing. What makes enable fuzz testing? Oh, great. Fuzzing is supposed to be a security thing, right? Does anybody do fuzzing? This section provides information for developers who want to contribute to the Nope. Not me. Arrow uses CMake as a build configuration system. We recommend building out of source if you're not familiar with the terminology. Do I have CMake? Is CMake even... Oh, I do. I did it. I have CMake. On Mac OS. Do this. Guys, I'm on Mac OS. Right, Mr. Max? I went out of town to go to the dentist and my dogs really missed me. And now they're just laying on my feet. And it's super awesome. Super awesome. Can you guys hear the music, or can only I hear the music? I've never quite figured out if the music was like a decent level compared to my voice on these streams. Installing Automake. Installing Automake. Installing... using CMake. There's a lot of C++ in Apache Arrow. Also, thank every single one of you for choosing me over Primogen. I know that he's really entertaining, but I have blue hair. See, it's blue. And that's super cool. Right? Right? Radio silence. Radio silence. Well, I'm just gonna enjoy this really cool upbeat music. And send little pictures of my dogs. Using gRPC. Oh, it uses gRPC. Oh, you can't see that. I'll move these. They're in a really bad spot. Where are they? No, it's not those ones. This ones? No. These ones? Not those ones. These ones. How's that? Now you can actually see what's going on. Oh look, it's installing LLVM. Okay. So while that's installing, we brew install that. Then we... the build system uses CMake build type equals release by default, so if the argument has been omitted. Yeah, we already did that. So we need to so it looks like essentially you just kind of run this on your home thing. So, like, theoretically, there's no reason why I can't make a Docker file and run this on my Docker file. LLVM and CLang tools, dependency management, LLVM. Debugging with Xcode on Mac. Why would I use Xcode when I can use CMake version requirements? Many contributors use the Ninja build system to get faster builds. Ninja is used to build Chrome, parts of Android, LLVM, and more. Great. But I'm not developing it. I'm not. Optional comments, D-arrow. Yep. Oh, now that's gonna live inside here, huh? This is the worst. I guess it's fine. Arrow can live inside here for now, and I'll move it. When I actually do something. So we need to cd arrow C++. CI app vendor readme C# header docker compose YAML. I don't want that. You're supposed to open up Docker Compose. Is this the Docker Compose? CUDA, C++, Python, Ruby, Python, volumes, conda, Maven, Python. Okay, wait. Why did I Hold up. A native Rust implementation of Apache Arrow, a cross-language development platform, right? So we have Apache Arrow, but we have this. That I can just run itself. Why am I doing the C++ garbage? Ugh! Why? To build it, you need to have Rust and cargo. We use the official ASF Apache Software Foundation Slack for informal discussions and coordination. This is a great place to meet other contributors and get guidance on where to join. Join the Arrow-Rust channel. Use ASF Jira as a system of record for features and bug fixes. We have a bi-weekly Rust Fussy call for the Arrow Rust community hosted on Google Meet. Oh, this is intense. This is pretty intense. So they're saying yeah. So this is the Apache Arrow itself. Native Rust implementation of Apache Arrow. And then up here has Arrow Flight for Proto, Dev, which has archery, which was in Python and is now in Rust, Parquet. Holy F. They took this whole C++ thing and then rewrote it in Rust. Oh, people are improving my stuff. Get submodules. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna do this then. We're just gonna fork it. Fork it for myself. Go here. Go here. Git clone. And then I should just be able to use all this stuff and get it running itself. That's kind of my plan. Cool, and now header integration testing Parquet, Rust Fumped Toml, even though it's Rust format, contributing code of conduct, change log, and then the readme. Vim readme. Cool. So it said, so there's these crates. Ballista works with Kubernetes, which was what I was really excited about. Arrow data between processes is flight, which allows you to query it. And we want to be able to so I should be able to go CD arrow. Right. Oh, come on. And this does have its own cargo toml. The source gen, regen sesh, readme benches examples. Can I do vim examples? Oh my goodness. So this is use file, use external create arrow. So we have a schema of vector that's mutable. City, latitude and longitude. We're pulling it from a CSV file. UK cities. We read it and then we print the batch. So if I do cargo build, does this build? Cargo index crate. Yeah, which is what I did. Gotcha. Before running tests and examples, it's necessary to set up a local development environment. The tests rely on test data that is contained in Git submodules. I need to pull that down. Oh, it's still building. Still building. Still building. Man, chat was so exciting for 5 seconds. Now y'all are boring me. Are y'all boring me, or is... Why is my camera laggy again? I thought this was fixed. Is my camera laggy? Okay. You have 10 minutes to vote. Go. Go. Vote. Go. Go. Go and vote. Go. Go. It's still trying to build. Go. Have you voted? Have you voted? Have you voted? Have you voted? Are you voting? Nobody ever votes in my polls. Nobody likes my polls. Get submodule init, that way we can test. That's what it says we have to do. By default, cargo test will look for these. Okay, cool. And now I should be able to do cargo test and then cargo test package -p arrow. I assume that is. Downloading all the crates! That's so many crates. Like, it's already said half of these. Like, Tokyo, it's already said. Inner Tools, it's already said. 12 years later. You know? 12 years later, it'll be done. And we'll actually have this going. I wonder how many Friday afternoons it'll take me to actually get Arrow working. Does anybody have a guess? Probably not. Probably because you're also not taking my poll to see if my camera is lagging. Right? Rust C version. My throat hurts. From speaking so much. All the talks and no rewards. The dentist did fix my chipped tooth. If any of you noticed this tooth, it's chipped. You can't see it in this light. You could have seen it better with that camera, but that camera's being dumb. You know. Being pretty dumb. Well, in 1 hour, we figured out how to download Apache Arrow in Rust. And now we're testing it. It's time to get this thing started. Ready for the drop?
Fools, all of you. It's time to get this thing started. Fools. All of you.
This is taking too long. Was this the build or the test? Catching a Psyduck. Because the arrow integration tests are compiling. I voted in my poll. I know none of you voted in my poll, but I voted in my poll. It's probably because everybody watches while they're doing other things, right? gRPC Gateway. Oh, that's not this one. gRPC Gateway's not this stream. gRPC Gateway is what I want to use for my project with King's Quest. Apache licensed software. Primitive array builder. Create a new builder with capacity of 10. Append an individual primitive array. Append a null value. So they had somewhere in these docs. The concept of like seeing pulls over and not watching one. And I was the one that put it, so, you know, there's that. So right here, when we were, it was, this kind of stuff, right? Like, arrow columnar format, flight RPC. They said they were using protocol for this, but that's not what it lives on long term. It's not what I wanted. But, like, I'm trying to figure out, yeah, like, how they format things, right? Like, if I was going to take a CSV, which I probably will end up doing, and dump it in here, how is that? I know I can access it with SQL and Parquet, but, like, what does that mean internally? Oh, goodness, the test failed. 373 passed, 10 failed, 8 were ignored. Test failed. to rerun pass p arrow lib. So I did this. My goodness. So if I do this, it should, so it compiles and then tests. So most of the tests worked. The ones that didn't work were the IPC reader stuff. Not even quite sure what IPC is. Communications IPC. Serialization and interprocess communication. Oh, IPC, interprocess communication. Figured out what IPC was. The primitive unit of serialization data in the columnar format is a record batch, yes. Semantically, a record batch is an ordered collection of arrays known as its fields, each having the same length to one another, but potentially different data types. A record batch and types collectively from the schema. So, okay, that makes sense. The columnar IPC protocol uses one-way stream of binary message against these types: schema, record batch, binary batch, dictionary batch. Okay, so the IPC in a way is what allows it. It's what it's stored as. I know that the streaming format is endianness. Now that's a word. In computing, endianness is the order or sequence of bytes of a word of digital data in a computer memory. Endianness is primarily expressed as big endian or little endian. What on earth is a freaking endian? Okay, flattened version looks like this. Yeah, well, so we provided a streaming protocol format for record batches. It presented a sequence of encapsulated messages, each of which follows the format above. The schema comes first in the stream, and it is the same all the directory. My goodness, I've got a lot of reading on Arrow to do. I've got some good ones though. Got some good readings to do on Arrow. Implementing guidelines. Implementing a subset of the spec. An execution engine, framework, or UD of execution. Razor defined. What the heck? Okay, terminology. Terminology. The Arrow Calmer format includes a language-agnostic in-memory data structure specification, metadata. Oh, I'm just gonna put my top back on my fake camera. Providing adequate detail to create new implementation of the columnar format without the aid of existing implementation. We utilize Google's Flat Buffer project for metadata serialization, so it will be necessary to refer to the projects, flat buffer protocol definition files are reading this document. Protobuf. Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm good with protobuf. Okay, the columnar value has some key features. Data adjacency for sequential access. O1 constant time random access. Oh my goodness. Does anybody ever feel, and since nobody's going to respond in the chat, you can post this anywhere. On Twitch, on Twitter, on Instagram, in Slack, on Discord, anywhere you find me. Does anyone ever feel like they can develop programs, like software's fine, but once you get into like projects like these, they never know, and like they just start. I drown in computer science. That's what I feel like right now. I feel like I'm drowning in computer science. Cool. So same things. And this failed just because there's no file. Okay, well that's probably fine. Echo has a C in it. Parquet test data. Hey, this isn't even valid anymore. It's the same thing. Is there a parquet testing? Oh, I think you're supposed to do it. So let's just export. And it can just be parquet testing from here. If I'm running it from here, right, it should work. Oh, it probably should have had the dot dot in front of it. Because it's assuming, not that, assuming that it's running inside arrow. What?
This is the end of side one of this record. Please now turn it over for the second time.
Arrow test data not found, right? The data directory defined by arrow test data is not found. Well then, I'm not doing that. I can do it 97,000 times and it won't matter.
What do you know about all the filth that's going on here, huh?
It's just the arrow test data. Only one failed. Look, I did it! That's awesome. Happy Test panicked at failed to get parquet data directory. Okay. Works! I did it! I did it, Maxie! I did it, Maxie, I did it! I did it! You so proud of Mama? You so proud of Mama? Little girl! You so proud of Mama? Mama did it, little girl! They don't scratch my nose, scratch my head. Oh, I love you too. You sweeping, little girl? I made the test work. Look at that. Look at the parquet stuff running. Nothing's failing. All these tests work. I have a prettiest dog. Come here. You want to come up? 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 Come here. Up? 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 You saying hi? Look, you say hi to the camera. Say, I'm Lulu. Huh? Say, I'm Lulu. I'm a pretty dog, huh? Okay. You pretty dog. What do you need? Oh, there we go. I'm a big dog. I'm a big dog. This is what I have to deal with every single day. Huh, Lulu? Huh, Lulu? Huh, Lulu? Huh? Huh, Lulu? Lulu? We're tired. You gonna go downstairs and get a drink? She's milking this. Yeah, you are. You gonna get down? Okay, good girl. Can Mama get back to work? Mama get back to work? Cool. Okay, so We go back here. Right, because I forked it. Done that. Pre-hook. Okay, so now if I go to arrow, not format flight. I want to go back to my fork. Yeah. So in arrow, there is an example section. Filters, flatten directory, read CSV and infer schema. Okay, let's start with this one. And so I should be able to just run this. So if I cd arrow, so I should be able to cargo, run, examples. Oh, okay, so if I want to actually run the examples, go in there, and then I'm going to actually probably do cargo init. So we're gonna move everything to source. And so now can I cargo that? There's no main there. So if I do vim source, source and read CSV and for schema. So that does have a main. Okay, so that should have worked. Current package believes it's in a workspace when it's not. This may be fixable by adding arrow examples to member workspace array of manifest located at. Okay. Yeah, that's not what that was supposed to do. It's saying that because it lives in the crate. Why didn't it? Maybe it did run the first time. Let's check. First thing first. That's not gonna be the path to the file. It would be test data. Because I moved them. So this would now be this. No. Cargo, run that. Prints a hello world. Batch unwrap. Print batches. See, this is when I would do go def, because that's built in. But not in this case. So this labels it. That must be some way to like label it with that CFG thing. I haven't actually done that. But why can't I just do print? Hey, patatas! Look, I'm doing Rust. Like always. I feel like ever since I started doing Rust, all I do is Rust. Rust all the time. All day, every day. Ugh. In a friends. Oh, on the Go Lab one, when I was on the panel? I was trying to think what I've been doing recently. That was fun. That was really fun. How do I... Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy listening to all those smart people talk about Rust? Because I did not know anything about Rust. I really want some kind of Vim, Rust. I think I did this. Yeah, otherwise it wouldn't. Definitely this is what I have. But I accessed it too early. So it's arrow. I'm trying to... utilities. Pretty. Tracing subscriber and feature flags in Rust? What are you tracing? And we're looking for pretty print? No, we're looking for print batches. Pub function, print package, create table result, print standard, okay. So assuming as long as there is anything of length here, that should work. So what I need to check is that batch actually has a length. Rust, check length of vector. Oh, well, awesome. A lot of... That's awesome. Does this need to have an exclamation point? Yeah, because it's a macro. I knew that. I knew it was a macro. I knew that. Macros are very important to Vim. Oh, it does. Thank you. Oh, is this using that one format that one syntax you were talking about? I feel like there's some magic syntax that I'm missing here. Right? Because this has a dot length. But notice how this, when it called it, has like the curly braces. And then you put, not curly braces, square brackets. And you just put square brackets on there, which makes me think, maybe I should think about square brackets. Also, I'm really impressed with how good the blue hair looks today. Really impressed. If I'm specifying the file I want it to run, why is it only run Hello World? That has to be in the main. Yeah, that should have done it. Now we should have a main again. And I should be able to just change this to like have a different name, right? So now it can be function infer schema. And I should be able to just call that here, right? And that's not a macro. Heh. Not found in scope. How is it not found in scope? I must have skipped the part of using functions from different files. I'm really digging this music today. Rust, use function from another file. I'm not the only one. But yes, it's definitely in the same crate. Oh, I need to declare it as a module. And then I have to use it? Okay. So this would be read CSV infer schema. That's the module. And then I use read CSV infer schema. And then I use infer schema, which is the function from read CSV infer schema. Right. Something like that. Did I not save it? I thought I did that. Oh, I have to put a public in front of that, right? I'm just assuming that from what I saw somewhere else. Okay, well we have an unsafe import, but that's not mine. That didn't print anything. That didn't print anything. That's no good. Does it have to be in the main to print? It shouldn't have to be in the main to print. Open file. Let builder, CSV, read builder file new. Infer has some. Where, on line 35? I mean, it does. It has those brackets and those brackets. That should be the standard one. This one is the one that's being handled by Pretty Print. Maybe I should have done one. Maybe I should have started with the read CSV. Really? That doesn't compile? I forgot it again. So you're saying oh, now there's somebody that's knowing what's going on. Oh my goodness! See, look at me just being dumb. It has to be doing, yeah. Look at me just being dumb. I'm not used to Rust, that's why. Thanks, Josh! I guess you can't put it in the chat because you don't have a Twitch account. But Mr. Patatas, he helps me out. Well, like, yeah, see that built, so it's still not printing anything though. What the heck? This is really fun. Let's do this. That's an RFC. I don't know how much better that is. It makes sense. I'm just not used to the syntax. Yeah, it's gotta be importing it from somewhere. You're totally right. You have every reason to be confused. So let's start with this one, right? See, look. So I think I jumped too far. I think I should be like way back here on understanding a little bit better how, like, what they do, right? Like, so the idea is, I guess, we have examples, right? We have a series of examples that I move to the source so that I can import them into main. Hey, have a good night, Patatas. Thanks for your help. If you eat papas for dinner, that would be funny. But thanks for your help with the syntax and stuff. Have a good night. Yeah, I think I should probably have started with builders or dynamic types. Let's go ahead and open the dynamic types one as well. That way I can at least see how things are going. Okay, so this one is dynamic types. Builders is definitely a little bit better. Right, we're doing the static types. Josh, if you're watching, any Josh, all Joshes, notice how re-implementing everything in Rust by default just gives us this idea of dynamic typing. So, I'm still on board with generics and rewriting our sync bot into Rust. Just pull everything. So I think inferring typing, I think I'll start with builders. Because Apache Arrow seems to be based off of this concept of arrays. Or essentially, if you were to imagine a table, I wish I could draw it. I wish I had a drawer thing open. But like, I probably can find one. This one. I haven't done this before. Just go. Just connect. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I want. Yeah, I just want a pencil. Ah! Thank you. So, I think I want to edit it. I want to color. Whatever. I think what happens is how Apache Arrow handles it, right? It's like you have this concept of an array. And basically, like, if you were to represent it as a table, essentially, like, each cell of your table is in itself an array. And that's how they're able to manage their column or store, right? Essentially, instead of scanning each row and then each column, they basically say, they do some kind of quick hash and say, and they scan through the arrays, and they find the array you want in the column, and then search that array itself. And that allows you to basically rely on inferred indexes way smarter, and allows for that quick querying. So we're creating a new builder. So builders build arrays. I think that's the one thing from here that I was pulling out. So this idea of builder is saying, hey, we've got a CSV, build an array from it. Hey! Boilers? It's like boiling water. Boilers. Glad you made a Twitch account. Come hang out with me. I literally just forked Arrow Rust. And now I'm trying to figure out how their examples work. Oh, that's not true. I got all of the tests to pass. And now I'm trying to figure out how it works. So I guess what it's doing here... So builders... Everybody kind of pays half attention. And that's when I DM them on Slack and get mad at them. So, from what I'm understanding so far, so they use the syntax of builder to build out the arrays that are actually stored in Arrow. And then when you want to pull from it, you would use something like Parquet or whatever. But like right now I'm just trying to build it out. So they have, was that Parquet? Did that say? List data, okay. So I guess we have primitive arrays, and primitives are oh great, basic primitives. Integers, floats, uints, booleans, append, unwrap. What does it have to be unwrapped what does unwrap do? I wish I could just like go source and like go right to the source. There's a way. They talked about this. There's a way using cargo to go to open the source code. Maybe that was only in VS Code. Where you're at. But this prints it. I'm gonna call this make arrays. So now instead of being, this would be builders. Builders. Oh, and the other thing I learned, I don't know if you paid attention to this, is that there is 3 versions of Arrow. There's Arrow in Python, Arrow in C++, and Arrow in Rust. And it's like the full implementation of Arrow as an operating system. Oh, that's good. Unwrap is a cheap way to bypass error handling. But I love errors. I'm really still liking the concepts of Arrow. As far as or to handle the option pattern matching. I don't think the Streamlabs chat box knew how to handle your sideways arrows. What I've read, Arrow has CI/CD built in. It seems to be really good for Docker. Like, it seems to be pretty well maintained and built out. Oh, dang. So far, like, I still really like Arrow. I broke it! Use of undeclared crate or module Arrow. What? No, I do declare it right there. Do I have an arrow that's just by itself hanging out? I feel like something's not saved. See, because this one didn't have that issue because we declared arrow right there. And we're doing it again right here, like we declare arrow. Use arrow array. Use of undeclared crate. Extern crate. An extern crate declaration implies a specific dependency of an external crate. An external crate is bound in the declaring scope of the identifier. Provide an extern crate declaration. And they want me to use this because I'm living inside. But now it's 2 layers inside because I moved them. Rest is good for me. Rest is hard. Rest is so hard. Rust is so hard. So appears to create appears in the crate root, then the crate named is also added to the extern prelude, making it automatically in scope in all modules. So why did it have an issue with that? Why did that break everything? Cannot find crate. Cannot find crate arrow. Extern crate foo indicates that you want to link against an external library and brings up a top level crate named the equivalent. As of Rust 18, in most cases you won't need to use extern crate anymore. Use instead. So obviously this is just old. If anybody knows how to spell use. See, now it still has errors. What, line 19? No, I changed that. There is no extern crate. What are you talking about? No external crate arrow. Yes, there is. I was on the site. Arrow crate. Crate arrow. See? It says it's a thing. How do I get it? Do I have to add it to the TOML, right? I have to add it like manually to the TOML. Rust add to TOML. Dependencies. The cargo book. Yeah. That's what I want. And it is 4.2.0. So arrow equals 4.2.0. I did it! I added a dependency! Yay me! I added a dependency! I added a dependency. I did it. I changed that to an in-person event. Is it building? Still building. Okay. Oh! Oh, I am. Guys, I am speaking. Why is the camera so slow? Oh, it's my internet. Oh, guys, my Wi-Fi's on. No wonder it's been so laggy. It's just been doing the whole thing over Wi-Fi. They needed to be doing it over the plug-in bar. There we go. That should fix it. I am speaking at the next edition of the Rust Utah meetup. Now that's exciting. What the heck is Deseret Rust? Todd, are you listening? Todd, what is Deseret Rust? Who decided that was a good idea? Okay, good. Make arrays is private. It is private! I know how to fix that! Yeah, basically, I'm going to be talking about my experiences learning Rust, and why Rust is overly complicated. That will be my sixth speaking engagement of the year, and that is why okay, I just did cargo R, and that worked. That was messed up. Yeah. I just wait for the compiler to tell me because I don't remember anything yet. Because I don't know the difference between public and private in real life. So the first one, 11 elements. The fact that they're null is weird, right? So we are pulling int builder from an arrow array type. Can compiler-driven development be a thing? Because I feel like that is literally how I work. I'll write a book on it. I'll write a book on compiler-driven development. That's definitely not 100 elements. But it does start with 55. Then we append a null. And then we append those, and then we append a null, and then we append 25 through 50, but not including 50, because that's what that at the end. Yeah. And probably everybody else that's not, like, a super nerd. The append is pretty, so array building is normal. That's pretty straightforward. Let primitive array equal array builder.finish, which whatever that means. Dot finish. I don't know what dot finish does. That's interesting. Date. So it has a date type. This has a nanosecond times, which literally just wrote 100 nanoseconds. Values. Offset. Buff data. We can build arrays directly into an underlying buffer. We didn't print that. This binary, this is a string array from the binary. Hello, no parquet. So we have binary array, which is taking data array, which is pulling data type UTF, offset slight to byte value buffer from that. length, dot length 3. So it's 3 elements. Offset to slice byte. Values from dot dot. I don't know where it's pulling this from. I see how it's taking this and it's making a string of it from essentially bytes. That makes sense. List array. Print list array. That's just a word. All we did was print a word. Print list array from list data. Oh. So that's using primitive array of type 32? Oh, is this making a list of arrays? So we have this right here. So this is essentially like a full-on table because it's a list of arrays. Oh, and then we make a struct of arrays. Gotcha. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. But these are all with the hard types. Defined types. That's not too bad either. But not too bad. My goodness. Let's make a branch. Definitely not a valid branch name. So it is Twitch 11 running branch names. No. And look at that VS Code. SWP. Move example files. Okay. That's a bad name. Cool. 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 And so now this needs to be use arrow. So now we move on to inferring the arrays, but first thing first, I need to Rust Utah meetup. See? This is the one I'm speaking at. Look, it's right there, see? And it's supposed to be at Weave. Look, that's my name. I need to send this to myself. And this needs to be at Weave's address. This one. Cool. Now I can send that to my friends. Before my phone dies. Okay, so next thing I plan on doing Um...
Should have kept you where you belong.
Okay.
No matter how many gods fall, there will always be another to stand against you.
Yeah, it seems like making the arrays was pretty trivial, just like generally making arrays. They just have this concept of a builder wrapped around it, which provides some kind of security for their proto-buff. Marshalling, especially since types are inferred, but proto-buff's pretty static about types. Well, that makes sense. But this dynamic type thing, the main function can return a result. How does that work? How does the main function return anything? That doesn't make sense. I do not understand how a main function can return anything. Me as a gopher. And I was told, this is Twitch, I wanted to go to Twitter. I was told if I had any questions as a gopher to ask them on the Tweeterverse. He told me, he messaged me directly and said, I have never returned a result from a main function. I just exit. I mean, return, if you type return, that just closes the function, right? It just closes the thread. Oh, I forgot about Discord. I'm totally even on the Rust Discord. I knew that. Thank you. Okay, I would say Vin31 or Van31, but the 4 doesn't help me. It would definitely be way faster to ask it that way. Like, cause here, right, the idea of returning the result on this function makes sense to me. But the idea of returning the result... See, look. Rust Discord. Should I put it in beginners? Not infer types. This should be main. How does returning... Wait. But results just implies the fact that something has to be produced unless... No. To my understanding, results just implies that there just has to be an error, like imply that, like, it just implies error handling, right? Like, if something of a specific type or an enum is not returned, it's an error. Enum is not produced. It is an error. I totally forget about that Discord thing. Yeah. And in the main, an error produces an exit. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's exactly how I understand errors working in main, right? It just produces the idea of an exit, of the canceling the thread and moving on. This is infer types. Look at me using my mouse and Vim. Look at me remembering my semicolons. I'm so impressed with myself. I almost typed go build. I like literally thought it and then changed my mind. Yeah, that's not safe. Infer types. By default. Which should be handled. How do I handle errors? Match them. Thank you! Match. I knew that. Are you suggesting, Mr. Bowelas, that it would take me several hours to figure out how to do matching? They have an example of that in here somewhere. There it is. So I would do match. And I'm not putting in anything. Oh yeah, see, but that's like chapter 9. Why would I read that far into the Rust book when I could just look at chapter 2 and copy and paste? You see what I'm saying? Oh, so I just have to match okay or error? Oh, I can just copy and paste this. Who was getting mad at me and told me that copy and paste didn't count? See, they just return okay. I'm just gonna not do anything in the OK case. I can use a question mark in some cases? What? This didn't format, which means I did something wrong. Yeah, but I don't know what I'm returning. Like, I'm returning, I guess, the batch record, which we don't know what it is. Can I just make a new thing? Oh, yeah, but then I would probably have to import this. Yeah. Yeah, but this is just error. It doesn't know what it is. And then could I do this? Will this explode at my face? I don't need a result. Well, I mean, I just am trying to figure out how this stuff works. I don't have a use case, like, at all. And that's the truth. So, like, they're creating a data type, they're adding stuff to it, and then we're determining something from it. I'm really confused. Oh, I need to tell it what to do? Can I just do this? Like, cause that has the error, I need to go read that. A file. Oh! Yeah, it just, okay, file just becomes file. I can just do that then. And then I just basically, now it just defines the thing. And then it prints it. That's weird. I forgot it! Oh, I see. So this would in fact be better. Or something like that. Oh no, I still wanted the length. I still wanted just the length. Method not found. Add a colon question mark inside. That might be, that did it. Thank you. V4 NH31. Well, great. Looks like it printed out the record batch, which was empty. Definitely shouldn't have been empty. Nuvec ID nested, create some vector. Yeah, well, we are creating an array from it too. Yeah, it's definitely empty. So, nested struct arc. I don't know what this arc thing is, but it's from the sync library. I told my function to return specifically something that was empty. Oh, this part right here? Gotcha. I gotcha. I didn't do that. They did that. But this would now give me a scoping issue, I believe. Yeah. They did do it, but they didn't give me any prints, right? Like, this is just an example, and I'm just trying to understand the example, so... Yeah, that shouldn't work. Yeah, well, they use a lot of unwraps, so clearly they're not too worried about safety and error handling. Yeah, that makes sense, thanks. It seems a little bit dumb. Well, so the function, right here, what it's doing, it's creating a struct array, and piping data to it. And then what it does here is it takes that struct in batches and like unnests it according to type, I think. Right? Because we have a string array here. Let nested batch equal column 1. Nested B equal nested first column, and C equals that. Yes, no, it's 100% they're too lazy to make error handling. I think this kind of makes sense. I just don't know. And this is an Apache project. This is not an Apache project. This is an implementation of an Apache project in Rust. But I do think it is still sponsored by Apache. I agree. This is a rough example. They're not any better. But it also doesn't help how new I am at Rust. It feels like a huge hurdle just to be productive in it, but you know, hey. So recap of today's adventures in Apache Arrow. Apache Arrow is implemented in C++, Python, and Rust. And the Rust and Python probably wrap a lot of the C++. You can run it with CMake, or you can run it using Cargo. I have chosen to run it using Cargo and Rust because I prefer Rust to C++. It seems to be pretty easy to use. The idea is you're creating columnar store flat arrays that live in memory. That can be queried like a table using Parquet, or they can be accessed through APIs. Like, there's lots of ways to access it and to utilize those datas outside of the array, which is really awesome and exciting. Rust has a lot of additional support for data fusion and for Ballista, which is a query engine for high throughput analytics, considering that we do have at Weave, right? I'm doing this for my job at Weave. If you do ! Hiring, you can see in the chat, you'll be able to get information about the hiring that we're doing. Considering that we do support an analytics team, there's a lot of benefit to those things from Rust. So if long term we at Weave decide that Apache is a good fit for us, Rust and the Rust tooling seems to also be a good fit for our use case, and I really like it. I may mess with it again next Friday, or I may jump into gRPC Gateway, or I may work on something completely unrelated. I don't know yet. But I hope to see you at meetups this week. We have Kubernetes meetup. I should be online a couple times throughout the week, working on the Golang course, in addition to cleaning up my Go builder, the GCP Golang builder. So Following would be the easiest way to get notifications for that, either here or on Twitter. And we will see what happens next time I touch Rust. Rust is super awesome and amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening, and we'll send you off with a raid. We'll see who is on. Ooh. Kitboga is not on. Distributed database goes burr. Large bank data is fun. DevOps work. I don't know who he is. ScuffyX. TSView-Golang. Oh, thanks for the follow. V4NH31. Oh yes, he works at CockroachDB. With Avi, new and today. So we're between the Alt4F stream, large bank data, and the Risk CV core. We'll send you off. We'll send you off to large bank. Large data bank, sorry. Because we've been doing data stuff today. And see you next week.